What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my show, Insightful Principles. You are now tuned in into the 21st episode. My name is Kevin Jenkins, and this channel is designed to give you financial content in the areas of business, investing, and finance, while also bringing guests on that are entrepreneurs and telling their stories and having a transparent dialogue, while also being able to create insight for you that can allow you to develop the principles that can lead you to developing financial freedom for yourself. So today I want to discuss real estate investing and specifically the importance of becoming a millionaire real estate investor and how exactly you can become a millionaire real estate investor. So I'm going to give you some actionable steps, give you some dynamics of real estate investing, and kind of giving you information on how to build those relationships so you can be able to get in the game and create a portfolio for yourself with properties. Now, I truly believe that real estate is a core principle to building wealth. Billionaire Andrew Carnegie once said that 90% of millionaires' wealth is built off of real estate. So that just goes to show you how important it really is. So what are some of the benefits of investing in real estate? Of course, you have the consistent cash flow, especially if you are getting rental income monthly, year round, and you're able to get that whether you're investing in like a multifamily property where it's multiple units in one building. And then when it comes to cash flow, it's simply the profit that you have left over after you take your income and you minus your expenses. So the next benefit is the appreciation. It's an appreciation asset and it tends to grow over time. So it's definitely a benefit, especially when you look at when you purchase a property. As you continue to get the loan down and you get your mortgage and everything paid off, the equity and the cash flow will build over time. And that's one of the benefits of, just real estate in general. And another benefit is your net worth. So when it comes to your net worth, when you're owning real estate, as it starts to grow over time, your net worth is starting to increase over time as well. But one of the biggest benefits is definitely the taxes. People that are real estate investors, they tend to have more tax breaks. The IRS, they allow an investor to exclude $250,000 of capital gains tax on their real estate if they're single, and then it's $500,000 that you can exclude from your capital gains tax if you're married or if you're filing jointly. So some other ways of how you can keep your capital gains tax bill low is keeping the receipts of all of the improvements that you do with your property. And your cost basis is simply the improvements that you make on the property over the years, as well as the cost of the property. And the higher that your cost basis is, the lower that your capital gains tax will be. So that's definitely something important to know. And I just did want to mention becoming a millionaire real estate investor. It takes time and it takes patience. It simply is a journey, and you have to be willing to have the perseverance to overcome the obstacles that you will experience. And I truly believe if you do the right things day in and day out for months and also for years to come, that is what's going to allow your net worth to grow over time. So I did want to explain the process when it comes to real estate investing. I read a great book by Gary Keller called The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and I'll also put it in the show notes for you all. I definitely would recommend it for anyone that's looking to build a real estate portfolio for themselves. And he talks about these three dynamics of real estate investing. And those are your criteria, your terms, and then also your network. Now, when it comes to your criteria, it's simply the property that you would like to buy in the future. It's essentially the standard that defines what kind of property that you're looking for within the market. So, for example, let's say you may be looking for a single family or a multifamily property, or you're looking to purchase a property in a rural or suburban area. Are you looking for distressed properties at a low price that you can flip for a higher price or possibly be able to rehab? What are the price ranges that you're looking for, with your property? Does it have all of the right features and amenities that make it a great resale or even a rental property? What are the cash flow that you're looking for per unit with your property? So all of these questions investors have to ask themselves when they're defining their criteria, and it's ultimately what's going to help you be able to find the right deal for yourself. Now, the next dynamic is the terms. Now, when it comes to the terms, that simply defines how you turn it into a deal. And a lot of times the terms, they determine the value for the property in the given moment, and then also what the value of is going to be in the future. Now, terms can be negotiated in a real estate purchase, and that usually includes the offer price, the down payment, the interest rate, and also the closing costs. Being skillful in the negotiation process is very vital because it's what will allow you to maximize the financial value of the property. Now, next is your network. This one is very big, and I would personally say one that I always am working on, no matter what investment or what business I'm specifically working on. You always hear all the time that it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know. And with real estate, your network is who helps you with your investing. You have to be able to build the relationships. You need to be able to find those mentors and also just other people that are willing to help you buy and maintain your properties, as well as being able to provide you the services that can allow you to be able to free up your time and effort. Because at the end of the day, all it is just leverage. You're looking at ways of how you can leverage your time and also your effort. And I think that when it comes to your network, this is what it allows you to do. So your criteria identifies potential deals, your terms determine the real deals, and then finally, your network supports all of your deals. Now, I did want to mention that when it comes to real estate investing, you also have to be powered by a big why. Always have a purpose for why you want to invest into real estate. I know for me personally, it's to be able to leave an inheritance for my children's children, being able to build generational wealth. I don't have any kids at the moment, but having that forward-thinking mind frame is what's going to allow you to be able to be fulfilled, for what you're doing within real estate. And I also think that, you have to also be thinking about your net worth, always evaluating your net worth as you're accumulating more assets, being able to keep your liabilities down, because a lot of successful investors, specifically millionaire real estate investors, they're constantly looking at their net worth and how they can build it over time. And they're always making sure they're making decisions, smart financial decisions that is going to build their net worth and not bring it down. So keep that in mind. And more importantly, I want to say, take action. With anything in life, I don't care if it's you accomplishing a worthwhile goal, you're starting a business, you have to be able to take the action, and you have to be willing to not just talk about it, but be about it. Really walk in your vision and be confident. And I think that, of course, you want to be educated with an investment, but when you get to that point, you have to take action. And millionaire real estate investors, they understand that investing requires action, but more importantly, successful investing requires taking the right action. And the best way to learn is from experience, and you just have to get in the game. Now, another aspect of, building real estate is the passive income. The passive income allows you to be able to make money in your sleep, and also it's a tangible asset. So you can control the outcome, you control the value of the property, you can make any changes to the property, and you really determine the outcome of really the value of how much you want to make within a property, as long as you're maintaining it and you're keeping the upkeep. There's really no limitations when it comes to building substantial wealth within real estate. Now, I did briefly mention that it's important to have a team, and specifically in the Gary Keller's book, he mentioned how there are 3 circles when it comes to building your network. You have your inner circle, your support circle, and you have your service circle. When it comes to your inner circle, That's simply your consultants, your partners, your mentors that can help give you insight on pursuing a deal that meets your criteria. The next is your support circle. So tends to be like real estate agents, contractors, property managers, attorneys. All of these individuals are very important because the real estate agent is the one that can help you find the deal and being able to structure the deal. And then you need a contractor when it comes to being able to maintain just the maintenance of your property. And then maybe you might want a property manager to go and look over the property and making sure that the tenants are paying their rent for the month, if you don't more specifically want to be the landlord. Now, the third is your service circle, which is your financial planners, your title companies, appraisers, plumbers, electricians. These tend to be on an as needed basis. So it just ultimately depends on, what service that you need specifically at that time. And just kind of the last couple of ideas that I wanted to mention in this video is some ways that you can get in the game of real estate. Now, you have one specific strategy, which is wholesaling. And with wholesaling, pretty much the wholesaler, they contract a home with the seller, and then they find an investor to buy it. And a wholesaler tends to contract a home with a buyer at a higher price than the seller. So they're simply flipping the property, and the difference is the profit that the wholesaler keeps. Now, a more creative way, and one that I'm specifically working towards, is being able to use the FHA loan to purchase a multifamily property. And a multifamily property is anything from 2 to 4 units. It could be bigger than that as well, but most of the time when you hear a duplex, which is a property that I want to look to purchasing, it's a 2 to 4 unit. And with the FHA loan, FHA stands for the Federal Housing Administration. Pretty much I want to live in one of the units, because with an FHA, you do have to live in the residence for 1 year. It's an owner occupied type of loan. And I want to live in it for a year, and I want to rent out the 3 other units. So essentially I want a house hack and be able to pay that loan off, and then being able to live for free, and then, possibly move out of the property and just rent out all 4 units is a rental property. So, I definitely think that the FHA is a great way to getting into the game of real estate, because with residential financing, you tend to get a lower down payment. So for the FHA loan, all you have to put down is 3.5%. If your credit score is 580 or higher. If it is lower than that, the maximum rate for your down payment will have to be at least 10%. So, one great thing about multifamily properties is just the equity and the cash flow buildup. So let's say in 2021, you bought a 4-unit building, which is considered a duplex. Then in 2022, you bought an 8-unit building. Then in 2023, you purchased a 16-unit building. And then let's say in 2024, you buy a 32-unit building. That's a total of 60 units. And let's say each of those properties are bringing you in $200 a month per unit in cash flow after all maintenance and repairs are taken care of. And if you take the 60 units and you multiply it by $200 of the cash flow, you get $144,000. So just under 5 years, just within 4 years, you can have 6 figures when it comes to building real estate. And once you get started with one property, you're able to duplicate that process over and over again. It just takes you getting into the game, getting the experience. But, it's not easy, but definitely put in your mind that this is obtainable and that you ultimately can do it, because there's a lot of people out there that have become wealthier with real estate, and there's no reason why you can't too. So let's say for an additional, you do that for another 8 years, your net worth will be $1.1 million. And simply I'm taking $144,000 and I'm timesing that by 12. And the 4 years that got you to the 60 units, if you take another 8 years of building up that cash flow of $144,000, you actually take that 144,000 and you times it by 12, the 8 plus the 4, and that's what gives me to the 1.1 million. So you look at it, 12 years, you can have over 1.1 million dollars with real estate. It's definitely possible, and it's one thing that I'm going to continue to work towards. But this is just an example of how you can become a real estate investor. And I definitely wanted to tell you all, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. Hopefully you got some insight on how you can be able to make real estate as a core principle of building wealth for yourself. As always, if you can please like, subscribe, and share this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, I recently created a Patreon page. I'm going to put that in my show notes. It's in my link tree. And pretty much with Patreon, it gives you the opportunity to be able to support my content, my business. I would love if you all could check out the website. I have different tiers on there where I give additional content on top of the free content that I already give. And some of those tiers, for example, if you do join the official Patreon tier, I basically give you early access to all of my videos with my YouTube, with my podcast. And I also have created specific exclusive content in the areas of budgeting, saving, and also eliminating bad debt. I also have another tier on there where I've created a private community where it's pretty much a mastermind group. And it's essentially my entrepreneurial ecosystem where people can go in there and they can ask questions about different business ideas, anything with investing strategies, and we're all just in there to add value to each other. And then my last tier, the VIP Patreon tier, pretty much that tier allows you to be able to get a one-on-one Zoom call with me where we can actually sit down and go over a financial plan. So whether it's retirement, insurance, investment planning, and I also have some tutorials and some lessons when it comes to just my stock market process of how I trade within the market. So definitely check it out. And if it's valuable to you, I would greatly appreciate it if you could support. So as always, thank you all for tuning in to the Insightful Principles.